our society, we're called Persatuan Suara Kanak-Kanak Malaysia. And what is important is that we want not only children for their voices to be heard, but their opinions to matter as well. We're a nationally registered organization that looks into protecting vulnerable children. We normally look into 3 areas. The first area is looking into children who are in trouble with the law. So we look into some of the kids who are currently in prisons and so on that require some measure of rehabilitation. We also look into issues regarding to human trafficking, especially children who are trafficked into the country and then later transited to another place for vice or for slave bonded labor and so on. The other areas we look into community service projects and so on, as well as some advocacy work, in which is what we're doing today. We are looking into launching a campaign that looks into bringing some measure of awareness for the public in terms of the issue of violence against children and just getting people to speak up against some of these issues. When we first decided to think through what's a good campaign to launch, and especially to launch to encourage people to think about issues related to children, what we find is that especially in our society, a lot of people do not, they have this philosophy of not minding their own business. And this is okay, but when a child is vulnerable, we find that it is important for people to speak up against what they see is not right. A lot of times, if a child is being abused or goes through a very vulnerable stage of his life, it's always in secret, it's always hidden, and nobody ever sees or wants to talk about it. What we want people to say, what we want people to do is that if you see an abuse, if you see something which is not right, then we should just speak up against it. We should actually make the effort. We should actually put our, it's basically put our necks on the line, and actually speak against some of these things. So it's a simple awareness project in which we want to do 2 things. The first thing is we want to just tell people it's important to speak up, because a child who is vulnerable requires that type of assistance from people who are in a position to help. The second thing is there is also a simple fundraising effort to so that we can work on some of these issues which I've talked about. Whether it's related to improving the lives of the children in prison or improving on the efforts being done, especially for children who are trafficked, and as well as working on some of the community issues we're working on. In Malaysia, and I think it's probably the same many places as well, 70% of all abused children are caused by people who are known to the child. And in our Malaysian statistics as well, 50% are the parents themselves. That's why the Speak Up campaign is important, because it's difficult for the child to speak up against the parents, and the child would definitely need the support to speak up against what is going on in the child's life. A lot of children who are being abused, at the point of reporting, chances are the child would have been abused many times before that has happened, in private, in secret, hidden from society. And it's a shame, because that means the child would have gone through a few years of suffering, this very traumatic experience again and again, and this is really deeply rooted in a child's life. These are things which cannot just disappear because of psychological scars and so on. So the more people are proactive to actually work and really act against such acts of abuse and so on, the better it is in terms of what we can do in preventing these to happen. Our plan is to have the event here at this area itself. We're going to have the stage here in which we will do a bit of our announcements and so on. Over that side is where we're going to place these cards, these place cards. Here we're going to get people to write down their statements, their thoughts in terms of what they think about the issue of the issues against children. So therefore they're going to write it here, and then they will place it over that side, which is a little patch over there. for just a visual thing for people to see and be reminded of issues related to abuses of children and things like this. We're going to have a little bouncing castle over the side where children can just jump around and play. Yeah. And then we'll probably have our t-shirt sales here as well, just to sell on some of the t-shirts which talk about children issues in a very thought-provoking manner. We're hoping to attract some of the crowd who come here just to jog and things like this as well, just to participate on the event. It's an open free event. There is no specific target to who we want to come. We just want anyone to come at all walks of life, all ages and so on, you know, because the message is for everybody anyway.